lots of different names that you could name this. All right, so a degree is the basic unit measurement of an angle. So think about a circle. This is why we talk about minutes in a degree. So 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes, and you notice it has that little apostrophe up there. Okay, and then 1 minute is 60 seconds. And you could write an angle that is 62 degrees, 12 minutes, and 7 seconds would be listed as that. All right, acute angle is less than 90. Obtuse is between 90 and 180. A right is 90 degrees. A straight angle is 180. And then two lines that intersect to form 90-degree angles are perpendicular lines. All right, so here what vertical angles looks like. On this, vertical angles are always the same. So for example, if angle 1 equals 30 degrees, then the angle straight across from it is also equal to 30 degrees. All right, and we know that so if you look at this is a straight line right here. And we know that two angles on a straight line like this equals 180 degrees, right? So 180 is a straight line. So if this angle right here is 30, how much does this angle here have to be? Well, 180 minus 30 gives you 150. So therefore this angle is 150. And if I know this is 150, then this is also going to be 150. Okay? So these angles, so angle 2 and angle 4 are vertical angles. Angle 1 and angle 3 are vertical angles. And then we have what you call adjacent angles, which means they're side by side, like angle 1 and angle 2, and they add up to give you 180 degrees. All right, so triangles form 3 distinct line segments, and as you can see, the triangle, from these line segments, we know one line segment is 180 degrees. That's why a triangle is also 180 degrees. So just remember, triangle is 180 degrees. So that means if you add angle A plus angle B plus angle C, angle C, you get 180 degrees. So you can find some missing angles on a triangle. So for example, these examples, if you have 128 and 23, those add up to give you 8, 9, 10, 11, 151. And so how many do you have left over? Well, if you take 180 and you subtract 151 from it, and this gives you a 7, 10, 9, 2. So that means this angle is 29 degrees. Same thing for this, 65 plus 30 gives you 95. Therefore, 180 minus 95, 7, 10, 5. This should be 85. So this is 85 degrees. So that's how you find a missing angle, okay, of a triangle. All right, so there's one more I want to do. All right, so two lines are said to be parallel if they have the same slope, right? So we remember slope is the steepness of a line. So two lines are parallel if they have the same slope. So these two are parallel. And if you have a line that intersects those, this is called a transversal line. So if you're given all these angles, you should be able to fill in um, the rest of these angles because we know about vertical angles and adjacent angles. So take a look at this. So if I know that this angle is 116, then I also know this angle is 116, okay? And these are called alternate interior angles. And the same thing for this. These are also alternate interior. And of course, you can turn this the other way, and I'll draw what that looks like. Here's two parallel lines. So if you look at it like this, here's interior and here's an interior. These would be equal. And then also here's an interior and here's an interior. So these are called alternate interior. And I always like to say, look for the Z. Do you see the Z here? It forms a Z. So these are congruent, means they're the same measure. And then, of course, you have the backward Z, which goes this way. All right. Next ones are called corresponding. So imagine you slide this line straight up to the top. These two angles will be on top of each other. Okay. So of course we can. There's lots of other corresponding. If you take a look at this one, you know, from here, these two would also be the same measure. This one here and this one here would be the same measure. This one here and this one here. So all of these are corresponding. So if you imagine you slide this line all the way up to this line, these would lay on top of each other, and so they would be the same measure. All right, so what are the alternate interior angles? All right, well, we've got what? Angle 3 and angle 6, angle 4 and angle 5. What are the vertical angles? Remember, vertical are straight across from each other, so what's across from 1? Angle 4. So you've got angle 1 and angle 4. You've got angle 2 and angle 3. And then on the bottom, we've got angle 5 and angle 8 and angle 6 and angle 7. And then, of course, the corresponding. So imagine you just slide this line right here, slide that straight up here. So the same spot, so you've got angle 1 and angle 5, angle 2 and angle 6, angle 3 and angle 7, and then angle 4 and angle 8. Alright, so if I'm given that angle 1 is 23, angle 1 is 23, can I find all the other angles? Well, I know about alternate interior, I know about corresponding. So let's do alternate interior first, which is the same thing as well, we can't do alternate interior here, but we can do vertical angles. So angle 1 is 23, then what is angle 3? Well, angle 3 is 23. Then we can do alternate interior because this is an interior angle and the alternate would be this. So because I know this is 23, then angle 5 is 23. And then what's the vertical angle from angle 5? 7. All right. And then I know, well, these two angles, 7 and 8, 7 and 8 form a straight line. So this is equal to 180 degrees. So then if you take 180 minus 23, 7, 5, 1, right? So therefore this is 157. And if this is 157, this is 157. And then alternate interior says this is 157. And then vertical says this is 157. So now I have filled in all the rest of the angles and I can label this over here. So angle 1 is 23, angle 2 is 157, 3 is 23. Angle 4 is 157. Angle 5 is 23. Angle 6 is 157. Angle 7 is 23. And angle 8 is 157. Okay, so there's one more thing. You guys can write this homework down, but there was one other problem that I wanted to go over with you guys real quick. So write this homework down real quick, and then I'm going to show you. I'm going to pull up a blank screen. All right, so this is not what I want. This is not what I want. Okay, let's just pull up a blank slide. All right, so let's say I give you a triangle. P and Q and R. And I tell you that angle P is equal to 27 degrees and 42 minutes. And angle R, I'll say angle Q, is equal to 76 degrees and 25 minutes. And we want to find R, angle R. So how would we do this? Well, what we need to do first is you would need to add your degree measurements first, right? So we've got 27 degrees, we've got 76 degrees. We'll add those first. And then we'll also add your minutes, so 42 minutes plus 25 minutes. All right, so of course this one's going to give you 103, and this is going to give you 67. So that means there's 103 degrees and then 67 minutes, okay? And so what you're going to do next is, well, we know 67 minutes, right? There's 60 minutes, okay? We know that 1 degree, remember from earlier, one of your PowerPoints, 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes. So what I can do is I can write this 67 minutes as 1 degree. We know 1 degree is 60 minutes. So I'm going to write it like that because we want to get rid of minutes, right? So you divide those and you end up with you end up with 1 degree and then 7 minutes. Okay, so this is really, the total is going to be 104 degrees and 7 minutes. So then we want to subtract this from 180, right? So you've got 180 degrees, and we want to subtract 104 degrees and 7 minutes. But the problem is we don't have any of this in minutes. So what could we do? Well, how do I get minutes? I could take a degree away, right? And so we would change this to 179 minutes and 179 degrees and 16 minutes. And so now I have my units that I need, and we subtract these, and you end up with 75